Okay, let's jump into this deep dive. We're looking at the Bible, specifically chapter 3 of Hosea. And wow, right away, you get this command that just really stands out. Hosea is told to go show love to his wife again.
Right. And what makes it so striking is, the context the source gives immediately. His wife is described as loved by another and is an adulteress.
Yeah.
So this isn't just, oh, let's get back together. It's a call to love someone who has deeply betrayed him.
It's incredibly challenging. And then comes the comparison, which is really the core of it all, isn't it? He's told to love her as the Lord loves the Israelites.
Exactly. And how are the Israelites described? Well, the source says they turned to other gods and loved the sacred raisin cakes.
Sacred raisin cakes. It sounds almost, well, trivial today, but it must have signified something serious then.
Oh, absolutely. It wasn't trivial at all. Those were likely tied to pagan fertility rituals, specific idolatrous practices they were falling into. It really highlights the unfaithfulness.
So it sets up this powerful tension right from the start, this kind of persistent, pursuing love despite repeated rejection.
Precisely. It links Hosea's personal pain directly to God's experience with Israel.
So how does Hosea actually respond? What does he do?
Well, the text is clear. He goes and he buys her back. It's a very deliberate action.
Buys her back, not just takes her back.
Buys her. And the price is even listed, 15 shekels of silver and about a homer and a litek of barley. It's quite specific.
15 shekels and all that barley. Does that price mean something specific?
It likely does. Some analyses suggest that the total value, the silver plus the barley, might come out to around 30 shekels of silver.
And 30 shekels was?
That was often the going price for a slave in that era. So it really paints a picture of how far she'd fallen, her degraded state.
Yeah.
And it shows the cost involved in redeeming her and bringing her back. It wasn't cheap talk. It was a costly act.
That adds such a layer to it. Okay, so he buys her back.
Yeah.
Then what? Does he just bring her home?
No, there are instructions. He tells her, basically, you're going to live with me for many days.
Okay.
But, he says, you must not be a prostitute or be intimate with any man, and I will live with you. Or some translations say, I will wait for you.
So it's not immediate restoration of the relationship. It's like a waiting period.
Exactly. A period of imposed fidelity, living together but separate in a way. A time of waiting, of setting aside her past life before things can potentially move forward.
And this personal instruction, this waiting period, is where the direct parallel to Israel comes in.
Yes, immediately after this. The text says, for the Israelites will live many days, just like the wife, without king or prince, without sacrifice or sacred stones, without ephod or idol.
So they lose all the key markers of their national and religious life. King, sacrifice, even the means of discerning God's will, like the ephod.
Pretty much. Their political structure, their formal worship system, their ways of seeking guidance, all gone. It's a state of national separation and consequence.
A mirror image of the wife's situation. Deprived, waiting.
A really stark parallel, yeah. Consequences for unfaithfulness played out on both levels.
But it doesn't end there in despair, does it? The chapter points towards something else.
No, it doesn't leave them there. There's a promise. It says, afterward, the Israelites will return.
Okay, a return.
And seek the Lord their God and David their king. So they actively turn back towards God and their rightful leadership.
And how do they return? Is it defiant? Proud?
No, the description is quite vivid. It says, they will come trembling to the Lord and to his blessings in the last days.
Trembling. That's just what? Awe? Humility? Maybe fear in a reverential sense?
I think all of that. A profound sense of reverence, maybe acknowledging what they'd done as they approach God and his goodness again.
So stepping back from this really short but intense chapter, what's the main takeaway?
I think the source presents this incredibly powerful picture of covenant love. It's a love that doesn't just give up when faced with betrayal.
It acts. It pays a price.
Right. It's costly. It pursues reconciliation. But it also shows that there are consequences. Sometimes a necessary period of, let's say, separation or waiting is needed.
And the return isn't automatic. It requires that seeking, that turning back, the maybe even trembling.
Exactly. It's a journey back.
So it's this cycle of betrayal, consequence, costly love, and then the possibility of a humble return. A lot packed into just a few verses. Okay, so for you listening, what does this deep dive leave you thinking about? Maybe consider the nature of reconciliation shown here. In any relationship where trust is broken, what does this passage suggest about the process? The cost, perhaps the necessary waiting, the seeking, that trembling return needed for real healing. Something profound to think about from Hosea chapter 3.